Magazine. We're joined at the go-kart track here with the leader of the go-karts, and that's Bruce Jarvis. And Bruce, if you would, just start out by giving us some of the details about the go-kart track.
Well, it's obviously you can see it's a brand new track, and we're pretty excited about it. We got 610 feet of excitement here, about 18-degree banking, and a lot of go-karts are just waiting for a lot of future Airborne drivers.
Now, say some of the fans enjoy coming to Airborne Speedway, which we hope they do, and they come on a Saturday night. What are the times that you guys are open on Saturday nights, and also when you guys have your parties and when you're open to the public during the week?
Well, first off, let me tell you, we're open to the public right now Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays in the morning, and on Sundays. Once school is out, we plan on expanding that schedule. Right now, we're running like on Sunday from 12 to 6. Saturday, we're running open from 12 to 3:30. Okay, then we're going to shut it down, and the only way you can ride is by coming into the park itself. And on Friday nights, we're going to run it 5 to 9.
So if you plan on getting a ride on like a Saturday evening, you have to come into the Speedway and enjoy the races, and then you can also enjoy the go-karts here. And
if you don't get your thrill on that track, we're going to give it to you on this track.
That's right. And another thing that we're going to install into our show, I don't know if you know about this or not.
Oh, this is the surprise part, right?
Yes, it is. We talked to Mike Perotti this morning, and our idea was to get 2 drivers out here each week. We'll put it on the TV show, and maybe they'll have a little battle out there, and we'll maybe get some sibling rivalries like Robin and Bucko, or
Family Feud.
That's true. Or say 2 guys getting a wreck out on the track, and they tell each other they're number 1 and they don't like each other. We'll let them settle it with your go-karts.
Well, the nicest thing I can say about that is if they get too rough in here, I got a thing over there where I can shut it off with my finger.
Well, that's Bruce Jarvis, and he just wants to pass on. If you guys like go-karts, come on out here, enjoy the go-karts, and if you've got friends, tell them, because like you said, we've also got birthday parties available. And what can they do if they want to schedule a birthday party or just a kart party?
Well, anything. I mean, we do bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, guys' nights out, girls' nights out, mixed nights out. We're pretty conducive to anything else. And if they're interested in anything like that, call a track, ask for me or ask for Nikki, and we'll set it up. And we can offer up to not only the excitement on the track itself, we can supplement it with food and soda and ice cream.
All right, that's Bruce Jarvis. And
welcome back to Motorsports Magazine from Airborne. I'm Ricky St. Clair, joined by Saranac Lake, New York driver. Well, he drives the number 34 Shamrock Bar and Grill, Ernie's Discount Tool Modified, George Foley. George, welcome to the program.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good, George Foley. 2 weeks ago, before our rain out, you won heat number 1 of the night, and you ended up starting 12th via the draw on the Ernie's Discount 30-lap modified feature. You worked your way up to 3rd. You had a pretty successful weekend. Talk about 2 weekends ago and your day overall.
Yeah, my motor was running good, which is a nice change. When we finish races, we try to get to the front, and just been a long time since we got there. But the car was really good early. We passed on the outside. Anytime you can pass Pat or anybody on the outside is really good. And I freed up the car too much, and we couldn't go where we wanted to, which was all the way to the front. But I had to redraw, and I drew 12th. So lucky me, I had to start 12th on my own. It was my fault. So, we'll take what we get. I'm happy with 3rd. Beats where we were all of last year. And the car was terrible loose. We shouldn't have been 3rd. We should have been 5th or 6th. So, for what we had, great day,
I understand this afternoon you were testing the Ford crate motor here at the Speedway. Talk about the differences between the Ford crate motor and the Chevy motor you ran 2 weeks ago here at Airborne in the feature.
There's a big money difference. This is right from Ford Racing. It's a deal we set up, and we're trying to do it to bring in a motor that people can buy if they don't have a motor that's cheaper but competitive. We really don't have enough laps on it to give you an honest opinion about it. I think you'll see tonight, unless something happens, I think you'll see it's fine. I think it's competitive. We haven't got many laps on it right now. It just got out in practice. We sent it out this morning. I asked Mike Perotti to try it so he could compare the motors, and he went out, and of course the drive shaft come out of the car and hit him where it shouldn't have hit him, and he's okay. Just took a long time to fix it, so we missed a practice. But we're okay. We'll do what we got to do.
After doing the practice run with the Ford crate motor, I know you had to replace that drive shaft. Should the 34 modified be all set for tonight?
I hope so. We're just putting some gear in it. We got out for the last practice, and it seemed to go okay. We hit the rev limiter a little early, so we had too much gear for this motor. This motor actually only turned 7,200 instead of 76, so we had to pull some gear away. But, I don't know. As long as it doesn't hurt us coming out of the corner, it's going to help at the end of the straightaway. So, yeah, I think it's ready.
All right, we'd like to thank George Foley for being on today's program. Stay tuned for another driver interview on Motorsports Magazine from Airborne Speedway next. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Motorsports Magazine. Here with me now, the driver of the G-Stone Motors, number 78, Ernie's Discount Tools Modified. From Brandon, Vermont, it's Vince Quinville. Vince, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and thank you guys for having me.
Last week, May 1st, you make your way up to the third in the Fast 50 to kick off the 2011 season here at Airborne. 2 weeks ago, before our rainout, you charged from 17th in the field up to 7th. Talk about your success in 2011. I know you currently sit third in the point standings, just 10 points back from Martinois, who's in first. Talk about success in 2011.
Well, so far 2011 has started out really well. I mean, the first week we were challenging for second, had a soft right rear tire, so that kind of held us up at the end. We just kind of conserved the last 2 laps. We started out 2010 on a very bad note. The first 2 weeks we had a lot of motor issues, kind of self-inflicted, unfortunately. But that gave us a lot of time to study our race car and try to learn the asphalt. This is all new to me. As anybody's watching me, they can tell I'm slide the car around a little bit once in a while. But so this year we came in with the same game plan we had at the end of the year last year after our great finish, and it seems to be working.
I know you're a former 358 dirt modified track champion at Bear Ridge Speedway in Bradford, Vermont, over at Devil's Bowl Speedway in West Haven, Vermont. And I know you started running the blacktop here in 2010. Talk about that transition from running dirt weekly over to the asphalt.
Well, I'm born and bred dirt. I mean, my father raced dirt all my life, so actually there was a couple of years he went to asphalt late model racing, but I really love dirt racing. It's my heart and soul, but asphalt has, with what Mike's doing here, the rules they're watching, how they're doing everything, it's very competitive. And I'm making the transition, I guess you could say. Definitely a lot cleaner.
Every Saturday night, you guys are the headline division. You get 30 laps on the progressively banked Airborne half mile. What's going on in your head? Are you trying to be patient to work your way up through the field, or are you on the hammer? Are you trying to play it aggressive?
Starting position and who's in front of you kind of makes how you're going to run. If Patrick or Martin Roy are in front of you, they tend to set the pace that you have to push. Typically, I would tend to be more of a conservative, for the first 10, 15 laps, let everybody kind of sort out and then pick your way through the field. There's a lot of really good cars here, so it's hard to be patient and hold back. I mean, there's 10, 11 guys that can win any week. So,
I know it's the first time we've talked to you on Motorsports Magazine in 2011. What are some of your goals for this season?
Well, I'd like to think I could be a top 5 contender in the points up here and hopefully squeak out a couple of wins. I mean, it's like anybody. First one comes hard. I'd like to think we could get one and then maybe go for a second one after that, but definitely try to run the top 5 in points all year and be very competitive.
All right, we'd like to thank Brandon, Vermont driver Vince Quinville for being on our program. Stay tuned for another driver interview on Motorsports Magazine from Airborne next. With me now is the driver of the Bigor Supply, number 19 Tiger Sportsman from Morris Forks, New York. It's Jamie Bigor. Jamie, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
You've had 2 consecutive second-place finishes, finishing behind point leader Robin Wood. I know you're 8 points back. Are you talk about your success in 2011 so far?
So far, so good. I mean, we've been in contention both times, so that's a good feeling. But we still got a little homework to do, and we did some this week, so hopefully the results will show up sooner than later.
I know the handicap is in effect this week at Airborne. Your thoughts on that? You're going to be starting from the back.
Yeah, we'll start mid-pack, so it'll be exciting for the fans. Robin and I will start, maybe 11th and 12th if we both qualify through our heat races. So it'll definitely make things interesting, and just got to pick our spots and buy our time and hopefully get to the front in 25 laps.
I know drivers have been battling a wet spot in turn 3 due to the rain we've had so far this year. Can you elaborate on that? I know it's right in the groove for you guys, and you have to try to avoid it or you're going to get the car sideways or, at worst, spin it around.
Yeah, it's definitely been a challenge in the first 2 races, but we just got back in from hot laps, and all is well out there, boy. It makes a big difference when you can use, your groove that you're used to, and I think it'll make for some good racing later on tonight.
Assess your car today after final practice. Are you satisfied?
Not yet. We just made a minor change. I think it'll put us closer, but we do have one more, so we can go out and check it. But we're close, and I think we'll be fine come feature time.
We're 2 races into the 2011 campaign. Can you assess the division? I know it's grown. We've had a couple of guys move up from the Renegade class. Talk about the competitiveness this year.
Oh, it's definitely competitive. You know, we got 10, 12 guys that can win on any night. So it's all about patience and picking your spots, and hopefully you're there in the end. It doesn't happen on the first 4 laps. You got to buy your time and wait for the right time to pass somebody, and just pick and choose who you're racing against.
All right, we'd like to thank Jamie Begor for being on tonight's program. Stay tuned. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to get ready to rumble, ready to ramble at the Airborne half mile. Racing is next.
All right, first event of the evening making its way out onto the Airborne backstretch. Qualifier number 1 for the J&S Steel Sportsman cars. Let's set the field. Starting on the pole, driving car number 35 from Plattsburgh. It's the Wells Auto Repair Machine for Brian McGinley. Outside row number 1. In the car number 33, that's the Adirondack Water Systems Bruno's Repair 33 from Plattsburgh. It's Travis Bruno. Row 2 on the inside, third starting spot. He's from Swanton, Vermont, with the Island Excavating Windshield World TDI Repair Harvest Equipment 21. That's Dave Rabtoy. Outside the second row, fourth starting spot for car number 24 in the Adirondack Water Systems Perkins Excavating Pelkey Builders 24 from Clintonville, New York. That is Keith Pelkey. Row 3 on the inside, fifth starting spot. He's the driver of the Bushy's Auto Perkins Chiropractic 11 from Morris Forks, New York. It's Jimmy Bushy. Outside Jim on board the Joshua Ware Blacktopping number 3 from Morrisonville, New York. It's Danny Sullivan. Row 4 on the inside, the seventh starting spot. On board the 44 in the Adirondack Locks Machine from Morrisonville, it's Tyler Terry. Outside Tyler Terry, starting 8th on the grid, is the driver of car number 57. That is the ED Engineering Machine from Altona, New York. It's Howard Stoner. Back to row number 5 on the inside, the 9th starting spot. For car number 19 from Moores, New York, the Begor Supply Vancor Fuels Connor Sandpit Begor Seamless Gutters Ross Funeral Home Agency Insurance 19 for Jamie Begor. Outside Begor in the Night Automotive number 75 from Plattsburgh, it is Cody Myers. And shotgun on the field driving the Jefford Steel number 96, it's Fred Lagoy. 11 cars ready to run, first qualifier of the evening, as we're set to kick off another Saturday night of short track racing action, the Big A, and we are under green. They're bouncing off of each other as they come down to take the green flag from the outside of row number 1. There goes Travis Bruno with a 33 to lead. 3 wide down the backstretch, racing for second. It's McGinley on the inside. Running in the middle is Keith Pelkey. On the outside, the 3 of Danny Sullivan. He had to get on the binders, and that's going to cost him a couple of spots, perhaps more, as Dave Raptoy looks to move through on the inside with the 21. Out front, it's Travis Bruno in the 33, then Keith Pelkey in car 24 running in the second spot. Brian McGinley is sideways off the second turn in the 35, falling back into the clutches of the 3 of Sullivan and the 21 of Dave Rabtoy. Out front, it is Travis Bruno. The lead is 2 car lengths. In that second spot, it's Pelkey in the 24, then McGinley in car number 35. Side by side racing from there on back. The 57 perhaps getting a piece of the 3. That put him squirrely in 1 and 2. He's going to get on the brakes, and he's going to lose a whole bunch of spots. Stoner in the 57 also lost a couple of positions. Tyler Terry has moved into the top 5 with a 44, and Jamie Begor is also on the move with car 19. He's into the 6th spot. Travis Bruno leads out front. The second spot goes to Keith Pelkey in the 24. Brian McGinley is third with a 35. There goes Terry to the outside with car 44. As Dave Rabtoy in the 21 is trying to hang on to 4th, but it's not going to work as the 44 has the outside. And here he comes along the front stretch to the stripe to take that 4th spot. Jamie Begor thinks about looking outside the Rabtoy number 21 into 1 and 2. Now looks back down to the inside, puts his nose underneath the 21, and here comes Begor in car number 19 looking for that 5th position. Begor goes to the top 5 as Rabtoy will slide back to the 6th spot. This time by it's halfway. First qualifier of the night, that's Travis Bruno showing the way with car number 33. Keith Pelkey is close to about a car length. We've got a spin along the front stretch. It's Jimmy Bushy in car number 11. He's in the infield, and we've got our first yellow flag of the evening. Caution flag out for the Jimmy Bushy number 11. Bruno in the 33, Pelkey in the 24 will set the pace. It's a slow one into 4. Now here they come off of 4 down the front stretch. Green flag. Well, cat and mouse game in the front row between Bruno and Pelkey as they were coming off the 4th turn, and they're even off of turn 2. Tyler Terry's made a move to the 3rd spot on the outside. Terry works his way around the 35 of McGinley. Here comes Dave Rabtoy in the 21. We've got synchronized spinning towards the back of the pack, the 57 of Howard Stoner, and the 3 of Danny Sullivan go around coming off of turn number 3, and we're going to have another yellow flag. We'll pick up the field over in turn number 3. This time Bruno's on the hammer a lot faster. Here he comes off of turn number 4. Green flag. At previous restart, it was a slow pace that was set by Bruno on the point. Pelkey is able to hang with him, though. Here he comes again on the outside, and they're even off of turn number 2. They run side by side down the backstretch going to the third turn. Pelkey sticks his nose out in front for the lead. They race into turn number 4, almost even. Pelkey drifts up towards the wall. A drag race down to the stripe, and at the stripe it looked like Pelkey by inches had the lead on the outside. Travis Bruno hanging right with him on the inside. Pelkey on the outside. It's Bruno now with the lead off turn number 2. Here comes Tyler Terry. It's a 3-car battle for the lead out front. Bruno the 33, Pelkey the 24, Terry in the 44. Then it's McGinley in car number 35. And running in the 5th spot, Jamie Begor. He's still in the mix as well. Travis Bruno opening it up. It's now a car length and a half. Make it 2 off turn number 2. Keith Pelkey in the 24 sliding back a little bit. He's got his hands full still with Tyler Terry on the inside. Here comes Jamie Begor bidding for the 4th spot. Car number 19 goes to 4th as McGinley slipped up in turn number 4, pushing up the racetrack. 2 laps to go out front for Travis Bruno. Bruno's lead is growing as the battle continues behind him for the 2nd position. Tyler Terry on the inside. His car has not been able to really come to life the way it was running on the outside of the racetrack, and that's true for a lot of the cars in this division that seem to run better on the outside of the racing surface. 1 lap to go for Travis Bruno. Bruno in the 33, leading by 3 car lengths. Pelkey drifts up the track over in turn number 2. Jamie Begor's working the inside of that car number 19. He's got a nose underneath the 44 of Terry, looking for the 3rd spot. Here comes Travis Bruno off of turn number 4. The checkered flag is out. Bruno's going to win it. 2nd is Pelkey. 3rd is Terry hanging on to that 3rd spot. 4th goes to Jamie Begor in the 19. 5th is Brian McGinley in the 35. 6th to Dave Raptoy in the 21. 7th to Dan Sullivan in the 3. As the first qualifier goes to the driver from Plattsburgh, Travis Bruno in car 33. Qualifier number 3 for the Ernie's Discount Tools Modifieds out of the staging area. And let's start to set the field for this 3rd qualifier. Starting on point, he drives the Hooters-sponsored 327. He's from Sutton, Quebec. That is Dan Brown. Brown starts on the pole in this 3rd qualifier for the Modifieds. Starting outside row number 1, the G&G Auto Parts number 76. He is from West Shazy, New York. That's Mike Wells. Row number 2 on the inside, he drives the 1 Quebec. It's the JM Racing-sponsored machine from Joliet, Quebec. It's Pierre Bertillon. Bertillon starts 3rd on the inside of row 2. On the outside, driving the Liquor and Wine Warehouse double nickel. He's from Bloomingdale, New York. Car number 55 for Matt Woodruff. Back to row 3 on the inside. He drives the Egglefield Ford, Riley Ford, Sample Lumber, Custom Canvas, Riverside Insurance, B&B Salvage, and there's still 2 or 3 other sponsors on that car. From Shazy, New York, that's Leon Gagno. Gagno on the inside of row number 3. He'll start 5th. On the outside, the 3rd row, 6th starting spot. In the Gayosa Wine and Spirits, number 80, it's Morrisonville's Andy Haywood. Haywood starts 6th. 7th on the grid, the defending track champion on board the Saranac Country Store, number 24. He's from Saranac Lake, New York. That's the Pistol, Patrick Dupree. He'll start 7th. Outside, winner 2 weeks ago on board the Gamache Truck Center, number 90. From Napierville, Quebec, it's Martin Roy. Back to row number 5 on the inside. He is the driver of the B3 from Shelter, Vermont. That is Aaron Bartamy. And shotgun on the field from Saint-Remy, Quebec. It is Roger Labrèche in car number 100. That's the field, 10 strong. Green flag. Mike Wells from the outside of the front row trying to get bite on the top of the racetrack to go for the lead. The Sutton, Quebec driver, Dan Brown, has the lead. Here comes Pierre Bertillon at a 1. Bertillon out of Joliet, Quebec, trying to move towards the front. Dan Brown's going to lead the first lap, though. Bertillon right off the back bumper. 1 car that is moving is Martin Roy in the number 90. The Gamache Truck Center machine thinking about threading the needle, but backed out of it as that needle closed up pretty quick. Matt Woodruff with a double nickel on the 76 of Mike Wells. Martin Roy working the outside, trying to find running room, but he's snookered right now as the 80 of Andy Haywood and the 76 of Mike Wells blocked the track in front, and now that inside line comes to life, and that's going to allow Haywood to move to the inside, and Patrick Dupree will move back in front of the 90 of Martin Roy. Here comes Dupree in the 24. He's going to go to the 5th spot. Out front, it is Dan Brown, the Sutton, Quebec driver, with a Hooters-sponsored machine leading by a car length. Pierre Bertillon in a 1 runs 2nd, then a good gap back to the battle for 3rd. As Andy Haywood tried to make a move on the 55 of Matt Woodruff. Woodruff holding on to that 3rd spot, but Andy Haywood is just a car length off of his back bumper and peeked to the inside of that double nickel in turn number 4. Now he's going to peek again over in turn number 2. The battle for 3rd. Haywood sticking the nose to the inside, but again backed out of it over in turn number 3. That door got slammed shut by the double nickel of Woodruff. halfway in the third qualifier for the Ernie's Discount Tools Modifieds. And out front, it's the 327 of Brown. The lead is still a car length. The battle for third still on. Andy Haywood again looking to the inside in turn number 3 and still able to hold them off. It's car number 55 and Matt Woodruff. Woodruff is third. Haywood is fourth. Good racing battle for fifth as well. Right behind them, it's Patrick Dupree in the 24, and then Martin Anois in the Gamache Truck Center number 90. Anois is going to go to the outside of the 24, and the 24 drifts up right in front of him with a good run off of turn number 4 to hold on to that fifth spot. Dan Brown comfortably leading out front. As a matter of fact, opening it up on Pierre Bertillon with a 1. And now Andy Haywood again peeking to the inside of Woodruff going into turn number 3, but Andy is not able to maintain the head of steam that he had built up down the backstretch into the middle of the turn. And he has to back out of it, and that's where Matt Woodruff picks it right back up again and maintains that third spot. Dan Brown leading by a lot. Then it's Bertillon in the 1 running in that second spot. Andy Haywood has tried several times to make a move to the inside, but has not been able to get past the 55. Bertillon's got a tire going down. That right rear is almost flat. Bertillon's right rear tire is flat. Can he hang on and salvage a top 5 finish? I don't know. They're screaming around him. Here comes Haywood for second on the inside. The right rear is flat on the 1. Dan Brown's going to win it. Here they come off of turn number 4. Haywood finishes second. Bertillon gets a piece of the wall, then spins it over in turn number 1. He's right on the rim. You can see him digging into the racetrack. Patrick Dupree ended up third, and I believe it was the 90 of Martin Anois getting to fourth, and perhaps Matt Woodruff in there as well in the 55, and Bertillon as well with car number 1. Scheduled to start on the pole was Middleman in the number 2, but it looks like he is elected to go to the back of the pack, so inheriting the point will be car number 86 from Sable Forks. It's Rick Donor. Outside in the 08 from Dannemora, it's Andrew Bordeaux. Row 2 on the inside, there's Joe Warren giving a nice wave to the crowd over in turn number 1. Joe is from West Shazy. He'll start third. And it's the 357 for Curtis Seymour. He's from Plattsburgh. Row 3 on the inside, there's the defending track champ, Kevin Booten in the 25. Happy birthday to Kevin. He'll start fifth. And outside Kevin Booten in the number 3, it is Dave Drake. The 70 is Jason McClatchy. Outside Jason is the 11 of Lance Raptoy. Then it's the 17 for James Sayward. And at the back of the pack, it is car number 51 for Freeman Sawyer and the 2 for Metal Man. That's the field. 11 cars taking the green flag in this first qualifier for the Versatile Trailer Sales Renegade Division, and Joe Warren's got the lead. Rick Donor started on point, but he's fallen back to the third spot as Kevin Booten looks to move through on the inside at car number 25. He goes to second. Donor back in third. The leader is Joe Warren at car 13. Second is Kevin Booten in the 25. Then it's Donor in the 86. The 357 for Curtis Seymour running in the 4th spot. Lance Raptoy in car 11 runs 5th. Battle for the 6th spot between Dave Drake and the 70 of Jason McClatchy. Out front, it's Joe Warren in car 13, and he's got a rear view mirror full of car number 25, Kevin Booten. Booten almost draws right up to the back bumper of that Freihofer sponsor number 13 as they race off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch into the third turn. Booten runs right on that back bumper almost off the 4th turn. Joe Warren still has the lead at the stripe. Booten staying in line around the racetrack. Donor running in the 3rd position with the 86. Here comes Lance Raptoy picking up a spot. He'll move the Culligan-sponsored 11 down to the inside of the 357 of Curtis Seymour. As Lance Raptoy goes to 4th, Seymour back to 5th. 6th is Jason McClatchy as he was able to pick up that spot on Dave Drake in the number 3. Halfway in the first qualifier for the Versatile Trailer Sales Renegade Division. Kevin Booten peeking to the inside of Joe Warren's 13. Joe got a good run, working the middle and top of turn number 2, and he was able to pull away and maintain that lead down the backstretch. But Booten is back after him, looking to the inside into turns 3 and 4. Again, Joe will go to the top of the track and hang on to lead the stripe. But Kevin Booten is right with him on the inside. Good racing in the Renegade division, and certainly typical for this division. A real division of parity. We see a lot of side-by-side racing, and oftentimes in this division, we'll see wild finishes as they'll run side-by-side. The first 2 races of the season, we saw side-by-side racing for the win right down to the stripe, just like you're seeing right now in this qualifier. Kevin Booten in car number 25, trying to take the lead away from Joe Warren. It was still Warren at the stripe last time by, but Booten's got a pretty good head of steam built up going into turn number 3 where they are dead even. Here they come into turn number 4, down the front stretch. Booten from the inside down to the stripe, and he's got the lead of the white flag out. Second place point man Kevin Booten had the lead at the stripe. Can he maintain it? Joe Warren on the top of the track tries to get bite down the backstretch. Booten still with the lead. Into turn number 3, Joe Warren comes back after him on the outside. Car off the racing surface up top. It's a race for the win. Down to the stripe. Checkered flag is out, and it's too close to call. We're going to have to go to the scores. It looks like it might have been the 13 of Joe Warren.
Tyler Brissett in the 8. The 17 is Jordan LaGrave. The 16 is Dale O'Neill. And we'll pick up that car at the back as he approaches the green. Bomber main event underway. Simmons gets the jump on the inside of the 26. He's going to lead him up the backstretch the first time. That 78 car, Ben Garrow, will start shotgun. 3 wide action as they head into turn 3. Chad Hendry on the outside moves up, takes the second spot. Signs moves up on the inside. He's going to take the third spot in the 3 car. Alan Simmons, a little bit of smoke coming out of the back end as he heads up the backstretch. The battle on for the number 2 spot. Chad Hendry in that 60 car. Rob Signs in the 3. They run side by side coming off turn 4. That 4th spot, it's the 72 of Curtis LaGrave. LaGrave runs 4th. Bill Joyle Sr. has the 5th spot. The 21 car, Travis Sherman runs 6th. 2-time winner to start the season, Josh Durvage in the 88, runs in the 7th spot. He looks to the inside of Sherman to try to take that 6th spot away. Durvage trying to keep that unbeaten streak alive. Got a lot of work to do. And he's got to try and run down your leader, Alan Simmons, who maintains that 4-car length advantage over the battle between Rob Signs and now Curtis LaGrave as the 60 car of Hendry has dropped back to the number 5 spot. Joyle Sr. on the inside has moved to 4th. Leaders working by the lap car, Ben Garrow. And that has allowed Rob Signs to close in just a bit, just 2 car lengths behind. He's got a challenge now from Curtis LaGrave on the outside in the 72. LaGrave and Signs run side by side, and they are just about to swallow up the 26 of Simmons. That lead, which was 4 or 5 car lengths, is now down to 1 car length as they come off turn 4. LaGrave now looks to the inside. He's going to stick his nose in front coming off turn 2. Simmons drifts high, kicks up the dirt in the bunker. He's going to go from 1st to 2nd, now 3rd as he's hung on the outside of the 3 of Rob Signs. Curtis LaGrave has taken the lead and he starts to pull away from the 3 of Rob Signs. Durvage is on the move. He's worked his way into the number 3 spot in the 88 car underneath Bill Joyle Sr.'s 58. Joyle is back to 4th. The 26 car of Simmons has headed back to the garage area. Top 5 car rounded out by the 21 of Travis Sherman. 7 laps complete for the Bombers as they work their way to 20. Curtis LaGrave Jr. in the 72 is your leader. It's a 5-car gap to the 3 of Rob Signs, the 88 of Durvage. Sherman had some problems on the backstretch in the 21. He was able to gather it back in, but not before he lost a spot. Josh Durvage continuing to work his way to the front in his bid to go 3 in a row to start the 2011 season here at Airborne. He has now taken the 2nd spot away from Rob Signs. Bill Joyle Sr. has gained ground on the inside, and he's going to move right along Signs as they come off turn 4 in a battle for the number 3 spot. LaGrave, Durvage. Joyle is sideways and looping it in turn 2. Caution flag coming out for the 58 of Bill Joyle Sr. Nine to go. 11 to go, rather. 9 down in this Bomber main event. Field picks it up off 4. Back to the green flag. Even at the stripe. Durvage on the outside. LaGrave on the inside. They race it up the backstretch. Durvage sticks his nose in front just a bit. LaGrave trying to battle right back on the inside. Signs runs 3rd. Sherman has moved up to take the 4th spot. As here comes the 14 of Brissett on the inside to take 5th. Curtis LaGrave on the outside. Inside, the 88 of Josh Durvage. They continue their battle for the top spot. Signs and Sherman battle for third. The Brissettes battle for fourth. John Michael in the 14 and Tyler in the 8. Curtis LaGrave doing a nice job making that 72 car stick on the outside. He is now able to get in front of the 88 and pull down to the bottom of the racetrack if he wants, but no. He's happy running on the outside. The 72 strong up there. He'll leave that inside line open for the 88 of Josh Duravage. These two cars have pulled away. What's become a 5-car battle for that number 3 spot. Rob Signs in the 3, Bill Joyle Sr. in the 58, the 21 of Travis Sherman, the 14 of John Michael Brissett, and Tyler Brissett in the 8. Those 5 cars battling for that number 3 spot, although Joyle has moved inside of the 3 of Signs, and he is now taken third. We'll see if Joyle's got anything for those top 2 cars as LaGrave and the 72 and Duravage and the 88 continue to dice it out for that top spot. Brissett kicking up the dirt in the backstretch as the 14 car got off the top of turn 2, but he's back underway. He has dropped out of that battle for a top 5 spot. LaGrave starting to work around the lap car of Garrow once again, and he'll end up on the 14B of David Brissett as they head into turns 3 and 4. Brissett's 14B running in the middle of the racetrack. This should be interesting as how the leaders approach him. 5 to go this time by for Curtis LaGrave in the 72. Josh Duravage just a car length and a half back as they race it up the backstretch. Duravage has been the dominating factor in this division in 2011. He's won both main events, and he won them easily. Not so easy tonight, as Curtis LaGrave has been very strong in that 72 car. Started in the 10th spot, worked his way to the lead, but in the first couple of laps, and has been able to hold off Josh Duravage as we approach lap number 17. LaGrave continues to run that outside line. Duravage keeping the orange 88 on the bottom of the racetrack. Bill Joyle Sr. has pulled away from Rob Signs. He runs third. Signs fourth. As Travis Brissett in the 8 ball. Tyler Brissett, rather, in the 8 ball. Holds on to the 5th spot. Be 2 laps to go this time by. It's still LaGrave in the 72. And the 88 of Duravage. This time the lead at the stripe, just a car length. Is Duravage just waiting to make his move? He pulls alongside up the backstretch as they are quickly approaching on 2-lap vehicles. This could get interesting. White flag coming out this time. Curtis LaGrave, 72, Josh Duravage in the 88. Side by side at the stripe, perhaps the 72 by just a nose. Lap traffic will play a part in the decision. Up the backstretch, Duravage gets a car length advantage. Can LaGrave battle back on the outside? The 78 drops to the bottom of the racetrack. Duravage drifts up. Doesn't impede the progress of the 72. Down the front stretch. Checkered flag is going to go to Josh Duravage. Wins it by a nose. Curtis LaGrave settles for second. Third spot is going to go to the 58 of Bill Joyle, with Rob Signs finishing in the 4th spot in car 3. And Tyler Brissett in the 8th will round out your top 5. 3 in a row for the 88 of Josh Duravage. Josh Duravage pulls the 88 into victory lane, and we'll throw it downstairs. Rob Knowles standing by to talk with our winner.
All right, thanks, Rick. We'll get a word with Josh Duravage, who's now 3 for 3. Good battle with Curtis LaGrave Jr. that went on for several laps. Curtis shakes his hand. Josh climbing out of his car. Win number 3 for the number 88. 3 for 3 on the season. He struck out the field. Josh Duravage kicks the Airborne victory lane sign. He's so excited. He's been here so many times already this year. Josh Duravage, were you just sitting back, biding time there down the stretch?
No, I was giving it all I had, trying some new tires, and they seemed to work out.
And then you worked on the inside, and it looked like lap traffic perhaps factored in there as well. Curtis had to slow up a little bit with some of the slower cars on the top of the track, and that's where he was running pretty well.
Yeah, the slower cars were definitely a factor in this. You had to go around them and be careful and stay in trouble.
Well, 3 for 3. You're off to an even better start. We said you were off to a great start last time. Now an even better start. Congratulations on your success early on.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all my sponsors and my uncle and my dad and everybody that helps me.
All right, that's Josh Duravage, everybody. 3 for 3 now. 7 laps complete. Bucko Branham's lead continues to be half the backstretch. Brian McGinley fighting back on the outside for third. Had third off of turn number 2. Sean Duquette still on the inside. Robin Wood wants to go to the top of the track. Wood will take the 61 to the outside of Nick Haywood as they run side by side for spots 3, 4, 5, and 6. Duquette the 18, McGinley the 35, pushes up in turn number 2. They're 3 wide now, racing for the 4th spot. Nick Haywood inside, Robin Wood in the middle, McGinley sliding back, Keith Pelkey's in the mix as well. 5-car battle for the 3rd spot. Sean Duquette's got that 3rd position. Robin Wood and Nick Haywood running side by side, 4 position right behind them. They're in the 4th spot. Haywood works the inside, Wood on the top of the racetrack. Sean Duquette running directly in front of those 2 cars. Now Robin Wood goes to the outside of Sean Duquette. Wood putting on a masterful drive as he works the outside of the track. Here he goes for 3rd around Sean Duquette. Bucko Branham with 10 laps showing on the board as a big lead. Travis Bruno running 2nd. 3rd now Robin Wood, who has cleared Sean Duquette. Wood working on the outside of the racetrack, trying to go for 3 for 3 to start the season as we approach the halfway point of this one. Lap 11 goes up on the board as we head to 25. Branham leading, Bruno 2nd, 3rd Robin Wood, 4th Sean Duquette, 5th is Nick Haywood. And that's a group of cars that are battling for the 6th spot. Keith Pelkey in the 24, Jamie Begor's there in the 19 as well. Working on the outside is Billy Twaits in car 69, and also there is Brian McGinley with a 35. Halfway sign from Chief Starter Butch Henry. Halfway for Bucko Branham. Tell you what, Branham does not want to see a yellow flag because that 61 is in the hunt. If he can get around Travis Bruno, and if there was some type of yellow flag to slow the pace, he'd pick up a whole bunch of ground on the racetrack, and he would be in the mix to go 3 for 3. Side by side racing for that 4th spot, Nick Haywood and Sean Duquette. Side by side racing for position number 5, and now side by side for the 2nd position. Here comes Robin Wood down to the inside. Travis Bruno trying to hold him off of turn number 4, down to the front stretch. And it's the 61 of Robin Wood in that 2nd spot. Travis Bruno running 3rd now on the outside as Robin Wood tries to finish off the pass. A lot of good side-by-side racing. One car that is really hauling the mail is Benoit in the 1. He's worked around Begor, and he is working on the 35 of McGinley, who's sideways, dirt tracking over in turn number 4. Bucko Branham, Robin Wood, Travis Bruno, Sean Duquette, Nick Haywood. Those cars running in the top 5. The rest of the top 10, Billy Twaits is 6th, Cody Benoit is 7th, Jamie Begor is 8th. 9th is Keith Pelkey, and 10th is Brian McGinley. Jimmy Bushy runs the 11 in 11th. Running in the 12th spot is Tyler Terry. 13th is Dave Raptoy. 14th is Howard Stoner. 15th is Danny Sullivan. Boy, 2 cars that have been running side by side for several laps now, the 29 and the 18. They've had a good battle going side by side for position, and they continue to run that way around the racetrack as they race for the 4th spot. Bucko Branham's lead is shrinking slightly, but there's not enough time, barring a yellow flag, for Robin Wood to chase him down, I don't believe. Lap number 18 about to go up on the scoreboard. So far, caution free. Danny Sullivan got a big piece of the bunker. He's kicked up a lot of dirt, but he's back at speed over in turn 3. Branham in the 20, the 61 of Wood, the 33 of Bruno. The battle for 4th still side by side. It's been that way for many laps now. Billy Twaits running right behind them is in the 6th position. 7th is Cody Benoit. And running in 8th is Jamie Begor, still with a 19. Keith Pelkey is 9th. And the battle for 10th, Jimmy Bushy in the 11 and Brian McGinley in car number 35. Bushy in the 11 is going to move into the top 10. Robin Wood is eating into the lead of Bucko Branham. It is down to 4 car lengths at the stripe. 5 laps to go for Bucko Branham. Wood has the disadvantage down to 3 in the middle of the backstretch. Here's where he's picking them up. In 3 and 4, he closes to 1. Robin Wood is just off the back bumper now of Bucko Branham. 1.5 car lengths at the stripe. Lap 21 up on the board. Wood is there on the inside. Robin Wood looks to the inside. Bucko Branham works to the top of the track. Robin Wood sticks the nose underneath as they race into turn number 3. Dave Raptoy spinning over in turn number 2, and that's going to bring out a yellow flag. First yellow flag of this feature event. Dave Raptoy spins over the inside of turn number 2. 21 laps up on the scoreboard. Bucko Branham and Robin Wood, two leaders in this division in wins over the years, to settle it tonight. Green flag! They run even into turn number 1. Robin Wood goes way to the top of turn number 2, puts the nose out in front down the backstretch. Brandon will try to hang with him on the inside. Here come some other cars right behind Travis Bruno trying to get in the mix for third. On the outside of the racetrack, Robin Wood has the lead. Billy Thwaites with an aggressive move. Thwaites is coming to the front with a 69. It's Robin Wood pulling away now 2 car lengths. Bucko Branham running in the second spot. Travis Bruno is third, but feeling a heat from Nick Haywood on the outside. Billy Thwaites is also closing with a 69. Popsicle sticks are out. 2 laps to go for Robin Wood. Bucko Branham continues to run in that second spot. Travis Bruno third. Side by side for fourth. Thwaites on the inside. Nick Haywood on the outside. 2 sophomore drivers in the division running for that 4th spot. A white flag out for Robin Wood. Oh, an outstanding late race charge put on by car number 61. Robin Wood drives it for the final time into 3 and 4. Here he comes off the 4th turn, down the front stretch. 3 for 3. Robin Wood gets it done as they're piling up over in turn number 4 as they finish this one. Second at the stripe was Branham, third to Travis Bruno. And we still have cars spinning over in turns 1 and 2, as well as cars spinning up in turn number 4. A wild finish, but certainly not at the front, where Robin Wood started 12th on the grid on the outside of row number 6, races to the front of the field, and then on the lap 22 restart, is able to take the lead away for good, and he's now 3 for 3.
All right, let's go downstairs. Rob Knowles standing by to chat with the JNS Steel Sportsman main event winner, Robin Wood. Rob?
All right, Rick. Waiting for Bucko's even got a 61 T-shirt on. He says, if you can't beat him, join him. How about a nice round of applause for Robin Wood? 3 for 3. Started 12th on the outside of row number 6. And again, it's pretty clean. This car worked where you wanted it to go. Worked on the inside when you needed it, and then on that restart, worked on the outside.
Yeah, the car was pretty decent tonight. Still not perfect, but the track's a little bit different this year, and everybody's chasing it, and so far I think we've hit it the best of everybody else.
What was your approach from the start of the race, knowing that you were starting deeper in the field? Was it get going as soon as possible and really try to get to the front as quick as you can, knowing that Bucko was up there?
No, actually, I kind of took it easy at first, just tried to let everything weed out a little bit and tried to miss the wrecks. And actually, it was a pretty good race. We went like 21 laps, I think, without a caution. So it was a pretty decent race for the fans. I got to thank my sponsors, Ganyanka Territorial Bingos, Renerac, Leland's Barbershop, Lorman's, Daniel Signs, and my crew, and just everybody that supports me every week.
And then just take me through that final restart, 4 to go, and you're on the outside.
I had him right before that caution came out. I was on the inside of him. I really didn't want to see the caution come out, but I knew I was a little bit quicker than he was, so I just drove it really hard in turn 1. The car stuck, and that was pretty much it.
All right, nice job. 3 for 3, and you think there's more in this thing?
We'll see next week.
All right, Robin Wood, everybody, give him a nice round of applause as he's 3 for 3 now on the year.
Pauls and Jan Leedy will pace the field down to the green flag. First ever appearance of the Race of Champions Asphalt Modified Tour at the Airborne Speedway in Plattsburgh. Here they come off turn number 4, green flag. A real good start for Pauls on the inside as he leaves Jan Leedy at the altar. Tommy Close moves to second with a 69. They run wheel to wheel off of turn number 2 along the backstretch. Out front it's Pauls with the number 8. Close running in the second spot with car 69, and then running in third at Shearer in the number 3. Jan Leedy back to 4th with car number 6. Then it's Bill Heaving in the 1 running in the 5th spot. Moving on the outside, wheel to wheel racing, Hosfeld in the 22. Works to the outside of Kyle Ebersol in the 5.
Earl Pauls leads them up the backstretch. Battle heating up for the number 2 spot. Close on the outside, Scherer on the inside. It's going to be Scherer to stick his nose in front. He's going to go to second.
Close fights back on the outside, already putting a lap on the 34 of Fretchy. He pulls down to the inside as they continue to run wheel to wheel into turn number 3 for that second spot. Close, not giving it up on the outside. Here comes Shearer trying to get through on the inside with a Binghamton Mets sponsored number 3 machine. Close holds him off. He'll go back to the second spot, working the rim on the racetrack. Already the outside of the racetrack coming in for these asphalt modified teams. A testament to it right there, Rick. Tom Close able to hold off Shearer, working the top of the track.
Shearer falls back to the third spot. Jan Lady runs fourth. Hebing holds down that fifth spot in the 1 car, and it's the Ebersol 5.
A freight train around the half mile in the early stages of the race. Close, sizing up off the back bumper of Paul's. The Potsdam driver looking down to the inside. The Hemikuda Racing number 69, which has won a number of events at this racetrack in this racetrack's history, running in that second spot. Close, pulling in up on the back bumper, looking down to the inside. He's going to stay in line for now as lap number 8 goes up on the scoreboard. 8 laps complete. Earl Pauls is led since the drop of the green flag. Close runs in the second spot, a car length back. Then it's a car length and a half back to Shearer running in the third spot. Jan Leedy runs in the 4th position with car number 6. Then it's a good gap back to the 5th position. That's the one of Bill Hebing. Running behind Hebing in 6th right now is Ebersol in the 5. Then it's Chuck Hosfeld in the 22. Then it's the 2 for Emmerling.
Take a look at that line that Earl Pauls is running in the 8 car, keeping it in the middle of the racetrack. Taking up that middle groove, it's going to be tough for Close to try to work by on the outside. He may have to make his move when it comes time on the inside of the racetrack.
Well, Close has already shown a propensity to run on the top of the track. That's where he's fastest. But right now, as you said, that line is being taken away by Pauls running in front of him. He's working a middle line through the turns, and Close wants the top of the track, but then he diamonds it to the top of the racetrack coming off of turns 2 and 4.
Jan Leedy in the 6 car has closed the gap on those top 3 cars. He's just down 2 car lengths behind the Binghamton Mets car number 3 of Darren Scherer.
Last time there was a little contact over in turn number 4. Bill Hebing got a tap on the back of his car from the 5 of Kyle Ebersol. Hebing had to get on the binders, collected the car. Ebersol ended up losing a spot as Chuck Hosfeld was able to work past with his number 22 machine. Let's set the field with 13 laps showing on the board. Paul's showing the way. Close runs in the 2nd spot. 3rd is Shearer. Running 4th is Jan Leedy. The top 5 rounded out by Bill Hebing as they work around a slower car. That's the car of Canestrari that goes down a lap, and we've got a yellow flag. Yellow flag out on the speedway. Rick Kluth has pulled the 44 into the infield. As the yellow flag comes out, perhaps fluid from the 44 down on the racetrack. All right, ready for the restart. Earl Paulus in the 8 from Palmerton, Pennsylvania, setting the pace. Green flag. Paulus shows the way off of turn number 2. Then it's Close in the 69 in the 2nd spot. A good restart for Paulus on the inside. Falling back Close in the 69 into the clutches of Scherer, and here comes Scherer through in car number 3. He'll take that 2nd spot away. Darren Shearer from Binghamton, New York goes to the 2nd position. Sparks flying off the back of his car off of turn number 2. Close fading back to 3rd. Paulus shows the way with the 8. Paulus's lead is 2.5 car lengths over the 3 of Darren Shearer. Running in that 3rd spot is Close to the 69. Then it's the 6 of Jan Leedy. A 1 of Bill Hebing rounding out the top 5.
Up front, it continues to be Earl Paulus, the Palmerton, Pennsylvania driver, leading the way in the 8. Continuing to run that middle line, but it looks like the Shearer 3 may like the bottom of the racetrack, Rob. As Close in the 69 drops back to 3rd, he continues to prefer the outside. Leedy right on the back bumper of the 69 car in car number 6 as he looks to the bottom of the racetrack.
Wheel-to-wheel racing right behind Chuck Hosfeld. Mike Leedy in the 25 working on the top of the racetrack. Down on the inside, it's the Ebersol 5. Give the position of Mike Leedy in the number 25. Mike Leedy moving into the 7th spot. Ebersol will fall back to 8th. Behind him, they run wheel-to-wheel for position just inside the top 10. Jimmy Zacharias in the 07. It's the 98 of Eric Rudolph on the inside. Those 2 machines running wheel-to-wheel. As they race for the 10th position, Rudolph grabs the 10th spot. Zacharias on the outside now with his hands full as Andy Welko in the 27 tries to take that spot away.
Scherer looks to the inside as they come off turn 2, but again, Paulus able to pull away. We've got a spin at turn 2. Caution flag is out as we've got one car turned around. 20 in the book, 80 remain. We get caution number 2.
Slow pace as they work methodically into turn number 3. Paulus waiting to jump on the hammer. He's got Scherer at his door on the outside. Still slow to 4. Now he's on the hammer. Green flag. Look out, we got a major pileup on the front stretch. Mike Leedy spins and keeps it rolling. The 5 of Ebersol is just sitting off the wall. Bill Hebing in the 1 is parked against the wall. Mike Leedy did a 180 and is trying to roll through the infield with the number 25. Hebing takes the 1 into the infield, trying to find his pit stall. So it's Paulus in the 8, Scherer in the 3. Ready to run. Last time Paulus set a very slow pace into 3 and 4. He's on the hammer now, and here they come along the front stretch. Green flag, back out. Better restart this time. Earl Paulus with the 8, leading by a car length, sliding back as close to the 69. Close, didn't get up to speed over in turn number 2. Lost a spot to Jan Leedy and really boxed it up behind him. Rudolph in the 98 had to get on the binders. That 69 did not want to come to life over in turn 2. They run wheel to wheel. The 69 have closed. The 07 is Zacharias. Jimmy Zacharias in the 07 works around Tom Close. Again, he seems to struggle over in turn number 2, losing the spot to Zacharias. Rudolph is boxed up behind him and also looking to move on the outside. Another machine, I believe it might be the 14 of Rio, as he tries to move up.
Top 3 cars have pulled away from the 4th place car of Jimmy Zacharias. Paulus continues to lead the way. He's got a 3-car length advantage on the 3 of Scherer. Jan Leedy has moved the 6th car into the number 3 spot. Had a good restart as the 69 of Close dropped back. Leedy gained the ground. He's now running 3rd. Zacharias is 4th, and the Close 69 back to the number 5 spot.
Lap 24 goes up on the scoreboard. A lot of laps remaining. Still 76 to run. Don't have to play the cards just yet. Bide your time, run around the racetrack, maintain good track position. That seems to be the strategy for several of the drivers that are working towards the front, not really pushing their machines, not at least at this point. Paulus with the 8, working hard out front. His lead has been anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 car lengths. We got a yellow flag as there's a spinner over in turn number 4. Yellow flag comes out. The teams get on the binders. As spinning on the inside of turn 4, I believe it might be, it's either the 22 of Hosfeld or Conover. All right, we'll try another restart with 25 laps complete. Same 2 dance partners on the front row. Here they come. Paulus, green flag. Scherer falls in line with the Bingo Mets number 3. Running in that 2nd spot, he's right off the back bumper. Jan Leedy running in 3rd. Close in the 69 is on the inside. Working on the outside is Zacharias in the 07. Jimmy Zacharias running in the 4th spot with the 07 car. Then it's Close with the 69. Rudolph in the 98 running in position number 5. Right behind him, Hosfeld. Hosfeld diving down to the inside. A bonsai move by Chuck Hosfeld to get a spot away from Rudolph. And here he comes off at turn number 4 looking to the inside.
Just 27 laps in the books. These guys are getting racy. You could throw a blanket on the top 6 or 7 cars as they continue to swap positions. Now 3 wide up in turn 3.
Look at Hosfeld on the inside. Hosfeld gets a spot. He gets 2 spots. We're going after Zacharias now. Chuck Hosfeld's into the top 5. Looking underneath Jimmy Zacharias as Chuck Hosfeld is on a rail. Working that inside line, picking them off one by one. He's got room underneath Leedy if he tries to get there. Leedy comes down in front of him. He'll hang on to that 3rd spot, but the man on the move is car number 22. Keep an eye on Chuck Hosfeld. He's the 4th in the 22, and he's working a rail on the inside.
Up front, Darren Scherer is your leader in the 3, but keep an eye on that 22 of Hosfeld. Had problems earlier in the event, but has worked his way into the top 5 in a battle for the 4th spot with the 07 of Jimmy Zacharias.
Darren Scherer was able to take the lead away from Earl Paulus while we were talking about Chuck Hosfeld in the 22 charging towards the front of the field. Scherer is starting to pull away from Paulus in that second spot. Jan Leedy still running comfortably in third. Now to fourth is Chuck Hosfeld in the 22. Following him down to the inside, Eric Rudolph looks to move as well. Rudolph with a peek down to the inside off of turn number 4, trying to take the spot from Zacharias. Conover slow on the inside. They'll have to work around him. Everybody does. Out front, it's still Darren Scherer by 5 car lengths.
The line that Scherer took to get the lead was the bottom of the racetrack. But now that he's got the lead, Rob, he's running that same middle groove that the 8 car of Paulus was running.
Wheel-to-wheel racing for the third spot. The 22 of Hosfeld, the 6 of Jan Leedy. Wheel-to-wheel into turn number 3. Right in front of Leedy, working the middle of the track, is Paulus with a number 8. These cars finding multiple grooves to run around. Hosfeld getting it done on the inside. As Rick mentioned, Scheer getting it done in the middle and outside of the racetrack. Here comes Hosfeld again, making a bid for third to take it away from Jan Leedy, maybe even second, as he's got room down on the inside from Paulus.
Paulus continuing to run that middle line, and Zacharias has been really getting it done on the outside, and on the inside, it's been the 22 car of Hosfeld.
Hosfeld works the inside, Leedy works the outside. They have been wheel to wheel now for 3 laps. Right behind them is Eric Rudolph with the number 98. Now Leedy with the 6, gets the nose in front. Hosfeld might want to run a few laps and perhaps bide his time as they work around the slower car of Canestrari. Out front, it's still Scherer in the number 3, leading by 5 car lengths over Earl Paulus.
Still 13 to go before we reach the halfway point, and they are dicing it for those top 5 spots. Your leader in the Binghamton Mets sponsored car number 3, Darren Scherer from Binghamton, New York. Second spot, it's the 8 car of Earl Paulus from Palmerton, Pennsylvania, and it's Jan Leedy who was taking back the 3rd spot, getting it done on the outside in the 6th. Hosfeld back to 4th.
Hosfeld looks to the outside, now comes back down towards the inside of the racetrack, perhaps trying to find a faster line around the Big A, searching for that line that he wants to run, but he can't experiment too much because he's got Eric Rudolph working right off of his back bumper with that number 98 machine. Now Leedy wants to run. He's peeking to the outside, but that line taken away by Paulus.
Paulus is going to be difficult to pass on the outside. He's kept that car in the middle lane to the top groove most of the entire race. When the leader got by, he went by on the inside, and it's going to be tough, but Leedy's going to give it a try as once again he works to the outside off 4.
And to get on the binders a little bit, that breaks his momentum coming off of 4. Now will he dive down to the inside? Had a lot of momentum built up off of 2. But again, you had to see him break it up because he was coming right up on the back bumper of Paulus with that number 8 machine. So Earl Paulus running in second, perhaps slowing down at 2 or 3 cars behind him that would like to find a way around, but right now difficult to pass the 8 machine of Paulus.
Paulus has maintained that 5 or 6 car length advantage on the battle that's been going on for the number 2 spot.
Darren Scherer in the number 3 showing the way. He's the one with the 5 or 6 car length advantage. Paulus runs in the second position with the number 8. Then it's 2 car lengths back to Jan Leedy. Not even to the halfway point. And you can sense that perhaps the driver's wanting to hold back a little bit, as there still is certainly a lot of time remaining in this one as they approach the halfway point.
That lead continues to be 5 or 6 car lengths for sure. Paulus doing his best to hold off Jan Leedy. They continue their battle for the number 2 spot. And a battle once again for the number 3 spot. Getting it back on the outside. Leedy holds the 3rd spot in the 6th. And Hosfeld in the 22 takes over the 4th spot.
Hosfeld had a battle going with Eric Rudolph for the 4th position. Hosfeld in the 22 feeling the heat from Rudolph, but he was able to hold on to the 4th position. Hosfeld's got a fast car. He's looking outside of Jan Leedy. Hosfeld in the 22 going to the top of the racetrack now. He's going to come back in line as he's got Eric Rudolph still right off of his back bumper. Let's set the field as we approach the halfway point. Darren Scherer leads. Running in second is Earl Paulus. Running in the 3rd position, it is Jan Leedy in the 6th. 4th is Chuck Hosfeld. 5th is the 98 of Eric Rudolph. We have a spin in the middle of the backstretch, and that's going to bring out a yellow flag with 47 laps showing complete. Just shy of the halfway point and ready for a restart. Scherer on the inside, Paulus on the outside. All right, here they come. Off of turn number 4, green flag. Jan Leedy peeking to the inside. Paulus, though, is right on that back bumper of Scherer. Shearer shows the way. It's a car length. Chuck Hosfeld on the outside, thinking about going down, making a bid for Leedy in the 6. You can see Leedy bobble off at turn number 4. That allowed Hosfeld with a good run along the front stretch to take third away. Chuck Hosfeld goes to third.
Leedy back to the 4th spot in the 6 car. The Rudolph 98 settles into that number 5 spot as they are halfway.
Now that Chuck Hosfeld is in the 3rd position, that's a car that has been hooked down on the inside of the racetrack. Let's see if the 8 of Earl Paulus can hold him off. He's worked that middle line, and I believe the 22 might be able to find room down to the inside and make a bid. He's going to bide his time for now.
Hosfeld has had his greatest success in this event on the bottom of the racetrack, and that door is being left open by the 8 car of Paulus. Now he looks back to the inside as they come off turn 4. He's right there. He's going to have a chance to get second as they go to 1.
A slingshot move by Chuck Hosfeld. They almost touch over in turn number 2. Hosfeld feigned high, then dove down to the inside. Chuck Hosfeld goes to the 2nd spot. He finishes the pass in turn number 4. Now he'll begin chase of leader Darren Shearer.
Shearer in the 3 is your leader, but look at this. Here comes Paulus looking to the inside, but Hosfeld says no. The 22 runs second. The 8 running in the 3rd spot of Paulus. Leedy is back to 4th. Rudolph 5th. Close is 6th.
Tommy Close was able to get a spot away from Mike Leedy. Leedy had been 6th on the last restart, but Close going to that 6th spot as he makes the pass of Leedy in the number 25. Shearer leads by a car length. Hosfeld looking to the outside. 55 laps on the board, 45 remain. It's the 3 of Darren Shearer, the driver from Binghamton, New York, leading Chuck Hosfeld, who's out of Lockport, just outside of Buffalo. It's a 1 car length advantage for the 3, half a car length of the stripe. Hosfeld continues to look high. He looks low. That 22 is a tick faster, but he's got to find his way around the 3.
Well, that slingshot move worked perfectly to get him the number 2 spot. He may be thinking about it once again, although perhaps the 3 car running now more to the bottom of the racetrack, Rob, rather than that middle line that he was running in the past few laps.
You can see the 3 just bobble over in turn number 2, opening the door for Hosfeld on the inside. Chuck Hosfeld makes the pass in 3. Here comes Shearer back after him on the inside. Hosfeld's running away. Chuck Hosfeld takes the lead on lap number 58. Hosfeld leading. Shearer running in the 2nd spot.
Here comes Shearer back to the bottom of the racetrack to try to get by, but Hosfeld says no once again. Hosfeld is your leader. Shearer is 2nd. Paulus in the 8 runs in that 3rd spot. Jan Leedy runs 4th in the 6th. Then it's the Rudolph 98 and the Close 69 and the Leedy 25. Your top 7 have pulled away from the 8th place car.
Chuck Hosfeld is pulling away from the 2nd place car right now. He's starting to check out. Remember, that's the same machine that spun early in the race over in turn number 2. At that time, having problems with the race car, but there's no problems right now. He brought it onto pit road. They made an adjustment, and whatever they did, well, it has been a rocket ship ever since. It was early in the race. Lap 61 goes up on the board, and the lead right now, 4 car lengths and growing. Matter of fact, Shearer is feeling the heat from Paulus in that number 8 machine, who is closing in on the back bumper. Perhaps the 3 is starting to fade a little bit.
Keep this in mind as we get to the final stages of this race. The 22 car of Hosfeld started 8th, had a spin early, had to work his way to the front from the deep back of the pack. Will those tires go the distance?
Chuck Hosfeld continues to grow the lead out front. What was 5, now is 6, now is 7 car lengths at the stripe. And the man who's under the gun right now is Shearer with the number 3, because that 8 machine of Paulus is right off the back bumper. Then it's 2 car lengths back to Jan Leedy in the number 6, who still holds down the 6th spot. Eric Rudolph's been stuck in that 5th position now for several laps.
Here comes a challenge for that number 2 spot. Paulus looks to the inside, trying to take that 2nd spot away. Perhaps he has the stronger car right now, and he could try and run down the 22, but it'll be the 3 car of Shearer to hold on to that number 2 spot.
Chuck Hosfeld right now on cruise control out front. He's working a very smooth line around the racetrack as they try to duke it out for that 2nd position, a position right now being held down by Darren Shearer. He held off a challenge a few laps back from the 8 of Earl Paulus. And you go back to the pass that Hosfeld made, Rick, for the lead on lap 58, and you had just talked about how Paulus Shearer rather had moved to a lower line, and I think that wasn't the line that his car needed. His car not as fast on the inside. He bobbled coming off a 2 that broke all of his momentum, and Hosfeld was able to race past him in the middle of the backstretch.
And he extended his lead as they head up the backstretch. They'll complete lap 68 this time by. Right now it's Hosfeld's race to lose.
The lead continues to grow, almost half the front stretch for Chuck Hosfeld on board the number 22. Shearer in that second spot. Third, Paulus. Fourth is still Jan Leedy. Fifth is Rudolph in the number 98. No change in the top 5 running order as Chuck Hosfeld works a slower car from the back. That's the Canestrari 17.
There's been a good battle, Rob, going on for that 6th spot. The 69 of Tommy Close and the 2 of Eberle.
In the meantime, we've got to change a second spot. The 8 of Paulus has worked past Shearer. Now Jan Leedy gets by the number 3. That 3 of Shearer appears to be fading. There was contact over in turn number 2, and that allowed Paulus to move underneath, and Jan Leedy also moved underneath as the 3 continues to fall back through the field. He's now running in the 4th spot. Let's see if Paulus can do anything with the 22 of Hosfeld.
Hosfeld has his biggest lead of the evening. It's about a 15-car length advantage over the 8 of Paulus. Leedy about 5 car lengths back, running third in the 6th car, and it's a good 3-car battle for that number 4 spot with the 3 of Shearer trying desperately to hold on, but Rudolph's going to go by on the inside, as is is that the 2?
It's the 2 of Emmerling. Right now, that 3 car is evil. You could see that rear end really kick on him, especially over in turn number 2, and coming off of turn number 4, it has been trouble. But Darren Shearer is fading as he has fallen back now to the 6th spot with that number 3, and he's fallen back further because here comes Tommy Close to the 69. He's going to put it back to the 7th spot, and then you get 2 other cars that are running right behind him that will drop him back 1, maybe 2, make that 2 positions further. So the 3 either with a tire down or something really amiss as he is fading back through the field.
Well, the early answers to the question is, can the 8 of Paulus gain ground on the 22 of Hosfeld? No. That advantage is maintained by the 22 of Chuck Hosfeld, looking to go back-to-back and kick off the season for the Race of Champions Asphalt Modified.
25 laps remain for Chuck Hosfeld, and barring some type of mechanical failure, flat tire, big-time problem, Chuck Hosfeld's looking really good right now for that second victory in the Race of Champions Modified Tour. As a second position, Paulus, he's not feeling a lot of heat from Jan Leedy, who's running 2 car lengths back. And then it's half a backstretch back to the 4th place runner. Here comes the 98 of Rudolph, but he's feeling the heat now from the 2 of Emmerling.
That Emmerling car has gained ground in the past few laps. He's gained 4 or 5 spots, working his way up into the top 5.
Yeah, that might be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, but where he is running right now on the track, he's almost a full front stretch behind the 22 of Hosfeld. Hosfeld, the leader. If we would get a caution flag, then that might bring a car like the 2 of Emmerling into the ball game. But as it stands right now, Chuck Hosfeld, without a yellow flag, this one's over.
Right now, the battle is for that number 2 spot. Paulus in the 8, Leedy in the 6. They run 2nd and 3rd. Then it's another gap back to a good battle for that 4th spot between the 2 of Emmerling and the 98 of Rudolph.
Lap number 80 about to go up on the scoreboard. Just 20 laps remain this time by. Here comes Chuck Hosfeld, and his lead is still half the front stretch over the 8 of Paulus, with Jan Leedy still maintaining that 3rd spot, and then it's a full backstretch back to the number 2 car of Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling is pulling away from Eric Rudolph, who is running in 5th still.
Opening week winner at the Oswego Speedway, the 22, Chuck Hosfeld, driver from Lancaster, New York, looking for his 2nd of the season. He's got the big advantage over the 2nd place car of Paulus.
Hosfeld maintaining the advantage. The battle for 2nd is heating up. Jan Leedy still with some life in that number 6 machine. He's eyeing the back bumper of the Paulus number 8. Leedy, the racing veteran out of Williamson, New York. He's been at it since the early 80s, and he's maintaining that 3rd spot, but he'd like to get to the 2nd position. Emmerling is closing in on that battle for 2nd, but he's still a good gap back as well. As next time by, Chuck Hosfeld's going to put lap 85 up on the scoreboard. There'll be 15 laps remaining for the Lockport, New York driver.
The battle continues for that number 2 spot. Paulus has done a good job running that middle line And it has worked to a second place run right now. Lady doing his best to get by. Now we got trouble on the 6 car. He had trouble in turn 2, lost 3 or 4 car lengths on that second place car of Paulus.
And we saw the 5 of Ebersol move around the 98 of Rudolph as well. So Ebersol picks up a spot. Rudolph in the 98, he's starting to fade back. That car bad loose coming off of turn number 4.
So the top 5 cars have spread out as we approach lap number 90. They complete 87 this time by.
Hosfeld is the leader. Paulus continues to hold on to the second spot. Jan Leedy in third, falling back into the grasp of the 2 of Emmerling. And I'll tell you, Rick, I really think if we had a yellow flag, Emmerling would be in the mix here, because he has chased down Jan Leedy in what was half a track behind the 22 of Hosfeld. He's now about a front stretch. That 2 car may be the fastest car on the racetrack. Running in the 5th position right now is Kyle Ebersol in the 5. Tommy Close is 6th in the 69. Running in 7th is Rudolph. Then it's Zacharias in the 07. And a wheel-to-wheel battle running for the next spot. Mike Leedy and the 14 of Rion.
Emmerling looks to the inside of Lady. They battle for the number 3 spot. They're side by side up the backstretch. And the 2 sticks a nose in front. Emmerling goes to the number 3 spot. We've got car off turn 4. And the yellow flag is out on lap 89.
Well, the yellow flag displayed with 11 laps remaining. Single file restart. Yellow flag is going to stay out on the track. "11 laps remain. A dash for the win at Airborne tonight. Here they come off of turn number 4. Green flag. Hosfeld in the 22 works down on the inside of the racetrack. Jan Leedy in trouble with a 6. He pushed bad up the track in turn number 2, losing a spot to Close, who's trying to get to the top 4. He will. Leedy's in trouble, I believe, Rick, with that number 6 machine.
And had a bobble just a few laps ago when he lost the number 3 spot in that same area.
Trying to nurse that car home now, inside 10 laps remaining. Out front, Chuck Hosfeld. The lead is a car length and a half. Paulus runs in that second spot. Emmerling in the 2 runs in third. Trying to hang with Chuck Hosfeld. Now the lead is 2 car lengths at the stripe.
The 8 car of Paulus now running more of a bottom line as they head up the backstretch, trying to keep the Emmerling number 2 behind him in that number 3 spot.
Now, I think Emmerling would have something for Hosfeld, but he is boxed right now behind the 8 of Paulus. He's all over the back bumper trying to get by. That 2 car continues to fly around the racetrack, but right now snookered behind the 8. He can't make a play for the win.
Hosfeld, your leader in the 22. Paulus runs in the number 2 spot. Emmerling, 3rd in the deuce. Close, 4th in the 69. 5th spot. It's the Ebersol number 5.
Ebersol going after Close off of turn number 2. Close will hang on to that 4th position. Out front, Hosfeld's lead is back to 5 car lengths as they race down the front stretch. Paulus continues to hold on to the 2nd spot, no longer feeling the heat from the number 2 of Emmerling. Running in the 4th position is Close. Then it is Ebersol in the 5. Running in 6th is Zacharias with a 07. 5 laps to go this time by. 5 to go for Chuck Hosfeld.
Hosfeld starting to pull away from the battle for the number 2 spot. That's the best battle on the racetrack as the 8 and the 2 continue to do battle. And it's a big gap back to the Tommy Close 69 who runs into that 4th spot. They complete lap number 96. And the 22 of Chuck Hosfeld extending that lead once again.
Again, Emmerling was right on the back bumper of the 8. But he was not able to work his way around the Paulus machine. Paulus hanging on to that 2nd position, continues to work that middle line. Here again is Emmerling closing in, but Paulus in that 2nd spot. Hosfeld continues to pull away on the inside as they do get out for the 2nd spot. Lap number 98 about to go up on the board.
That middle line working once again for the 8 car as he is able to hold off the charge of Emmerling. 2 to go this time by for the Hosfeld 22.
Chuck Hosfeld sails off into turn number 2. The battle continues for the 2nd spot. Running in 4th is still Tommy Close, the Potsdam native, closest driver to Plattsburgh in the field, running in that 4th position. Here comes the leader, Chuck Hosfeld. 1 lap to go for Hosfeld in the 22. Drives it up into turn 1. Hosfeld smooth through turn 2. There's a slower car in front, should not factor in. Hosfeld, final time down the backstretch. He'll move it down to the inside into turn number 3. Now drifts up to the middle of the track off 4. Here he comes, Lockport, New York's Chuck Hosfeld wins. 2nd to the 8 of Paulus. 3rd, Paulus for Emmerling as he shuts down. Third is going to be close in the 69. Then Ebersol ends up fourth as the team scramble across the start-finish line, with the 2 of Patrick Emmerling having troubles in the final turn. He goes from a third-place finish to somewhere just inside the top 10.
Well, Chuck, in the early stages of the race, I saw the 22 over there on the inside of turn number 2, and something happened to that race car to make it lightning quick, and it was really fast down on the inside especially, it seemed.
Yeah, you know, we use that as an opportunity to grab a tire, and a lot of guys didn't. So we use the spin to grab a tire and make an adjustment, and I got to thank my team. We came here really short-handed, and Don Ryerse's really done a great job on my car. He's like my main guy, and it's just... I'm speechless. It's just great to come here and travel a little bit and run and win and have it such a dominant car. I'm just proud of all that.
Talk about the winning pass that you made. It was back on lap 58. At the time, it was Darren Shearer who was leading out front, and you were able to beat him down the backstretch on the inside.
Yeah, you know, he's come a long way over the years, and he's really good lately. And good competition here. The ROC Tour is cool to race on, and I was able to get him. My car could move around and use the power, and it was just a riot, a lot of fun.
Well, congratulations. You're 2 for 2 on the series, and you get your first victory here at the Airborne Speedway. Thanks a lot for making the trip here, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you. You know what, I want to thank everyone that's here. It's great to see a lot of fans at the track, and I'll be back whenever there's a race. I appreciate it.
All right, that is Chuck Hosfeld, everybody. Give him a nice round.
Pace. And it's a 327 to Dan Brown from Sutton, Quebec. Here they come. Off of turn number 4, green flag. Brown slides down right in front of Chris Vernold. He had to get on the binders. That was an aggressive move by Brown trying to get down to the inside. Got into the back bumper of the 27 of Kane as well. Berthiaume, he cuts down to the inside of the racetrack. Pat McGrail had to get on the binders with a 10 as they try to slice and dice their way around a Big A. 30 cars still running on the track. Make that 29 with the 2 that have gone back to the garage area. Out front, it's Cam Grady with the number 27. Running in that second spot, still Dan Brown. Now, these 2 guys both put on an excellent show in their qualifiers and had dominating runs. Keep an eye on the middle of the pack. The 24 of Patrick Dupree, the 34 of George Foley, the 90 of Martin Anois. The heavy hitters trying to rise to the top. Don Scarborough, the 11, had to get on the brakes as he looked to the inside of the CO2. No harm, no foul. Everybody keeps on running. Cam Grady leads by 5, and he's opening it up. Running in that second spot is Dan Brown, the 327. Running in third, it is Pat McGrail in car number 10. Chris Vernold is fourth. Pierre Berthiaume slips up in turn number 4. He might be in trouble. Berthiaume could be sliding back. Maybe another tire going down. Remember, I had a tire go flat. That one is cooked. He's headed back to the garage area, trailing a bunch of sparks as he heads back to the pits. Cam Grady leading by 3 off of turn number 4, smoking that right rear tire a little bit as lap 5 goes up on the board. Grady leads. Brown runs second. McGrail is third. Vernold is fourth. Fifth is Craig Riel. Sixth is Chris K.A. Seventh is Matt Woodruff with a 55. George Foley rounding is into the 8th spot, rather. 9th is Brian Trim. And rounding out the top 10 is the 80 of Andy Haywood. Running in 11th is Patrick Dupree in the 24. 12th right now is Mike Riel. 13th is Don Scarborough. 14th is Vince Quinville. 15th is Greg Atkins, and the 90 of Martin Anois, the point leader, right now running in the 16th position, and he's snookered. He's got no place to go. He's going to the top of the racetrack. Keep an eye on the 90 now as he moves to the outside. Martin Anois is running 16th as this race is 7 laps in. Out front, Cam Grady feeling heat from Dan Brown. Slower car that they're going to work upon, Colleen Salisbury. They should run up upon that car by the time they get to the middle of the backstretch, maybe over in turns 3 and 4. Grady stays down the inside. The car length is making a car length lead for Grady with a 27. Brown, the 327, as they now work around that 13 car of Salisbury. She'll go down a lap. Dan Brown with a Hooters-sponsored 327 holding on to that second spot. Pat McGrail running in third with a 10. Chris Vernold running strong with a 97. That 97 car did not even qualify for the feature event 2 weeks ago. Missed out in the consolation race. Craig Riel running in the 5th position with a CO2. Running in the 6th spot right now, it is the 34 of George Foley. Foley is on the march with that 34 car up to the 6th position. Chris K.A. runs 7th. 8th is Patrick Dupree. He's on the move. 9th is the double nickel for Matt Woodruff. And Andy Haywood rounds out the top 10 right now with a Gayosa Wine and Spirits number 80. Point leader Martin Anois. Progress is slow. He is 14th right now with that number 90 machine. So Martinois is not flying towards the front of the field. He's having a tough time working through traffic, and he has not been able to pick off a bunch of cars as he has worked his way towards the front very slowly. And out front, it is still Cam Grady. Grady's lead is 2 car lengths over Dan Brown. Brown, a 2 car length advantage over Pat McGrail as they approach the midway point of this one. Cam Grady, I believe, looking for his first career victory in the Ernie's Discount Tools Modified Division. And he's nearly halfway home to it. He was flying in practice. You could tell that 27 was hooked when he showed up for practice in this afternoon. And that car has certainly demonstrated that he is a car to beat tonight. Dan Brown has also been as fast as we've seen him here at Airborne, running in that second spot. He had a dominating performance in his qualifier. And Pat McGrail, who had a couple of tough weeks to kick off the season, he's running strong in the third spot with car number 10. McGrail looking to go to second. McGrail had a peek down to the inside of Dan Brown that time going into turn number 3, but Brown was able to hold him off. Vernold running in the 4th spot. George Foley is looking to the outside. Foley looks high, now looks down low. Vernold holds the line, taking that top side away from George Foley. Foley will follow him into 3 and 4. A gaggle of cars right in front of the 27 of Cam Grady. 5 cars that he's about to run upon that might impede the progress of the leader. Salisbury is about to go down another lap. Right in front of her is Roger Labreche in the 100. They're running wheel to wheel right in front of the leader. The 0-1 of Terry Hayes about to go down a lap. Roger Labreche works around Hayes, trying to stay on the lead lap. Cam Grady with car number 27, leading by 5 car lengths now off of turn number 2. Dan Brown, the 327, feeling a little heat from the 10 of McGrail, and look who is charging towards the front. He's running 4th right now. That's Mr. George Foley in car number 34. Grady was squirrely that time coming off of turn number 4. He trails Labreche, trying to put him down a lap, now takes to the outside. Cam Grady with a 27. Look at the move put on by McGrail for a second. Here comes Foley to the inside. Foley goes from the 4th spot, make that 5th to 3rd, as George Foley in the 34 is in the house. He's up to 3rd. They work around the 100 of Labreche. Back out on the track is Ormsby. He's going to head to the infield and get out of that mess. Cam Grady leads by 4 car lengths. Running in the 2nd spot is Pat McGrail in car number 10. Running in 3rd, it's George Foley in the 34. Then it's Dan Brown in the 327. Chris Vernold runs 5th with a 97. 6th is Craig Riel. 7th is Pat Dupree. 8th is Andy Haywood. 9th is Chris K.A. of the 18. Running 10th is the 55 of Matt Woodruff. 11th is Don Scarborough. And 12th right now is the 90 of Martinois. Point leader stuck in 12th, and he is not going anywhere very fast. Cam Grady, lap number 22, is about to go up on the board. Grady is looking for his first career Ernie's Discount Tools Modified victory, and he's got a lead of 5 car lengths over Pat McGrail in the 10. George Foley in the 34 is charging. He is in 3rd, and he is closing quickly on the back bumper of McGrail. He's going to have to work around McGrail to get himself into the hunt as laps are winding down. 7 laps remain now for the 27 of Grady. We got a mess up in turn number 3. A mess in turn number 3. Jimmy Ryan, the 60. Leon Gagnon, the 4. Vince Quenneville in the 78. Another car went flying off the top. Max Vienna, the 25, was able to stay on all 4. Andy Powell in the 3 was able to get on the binders. And also pulling away over there and backing right up into Powell's car is Adam Bartamy in the X. Bartamy threw it into reverse, and he slammed the front of the 3 of Andy Powell. 22 laps complete, 8 remain. Cam Grady in the 27, setting the pace off of turn number 4. Hammer down, green flag. McGrail right on the back bumper off turn number 2. Look at the 24. Patrick Dupree to the inside of Vernold's car. Vernold's fight back on the outside. Dupree will hang on to the 6th position for now as Vernold goes to the top of the racetrack. Cam Grady with a 27 leading. Pat McGrail is there right off the back bumper. George Foley trying to get a good run off of turn number 2. Dupree to the inside of Dan Brown. Here comes Patrick Dupree trying to get to the 4th spot. The pistol Patrick Dupree charging through on the inside. He's up to the 4th position. Defending track champion Patrick Dupree to the 4th spot. Out front, look at Foley go to the outside. There goes George Foley. Foley around McGrail on the outside, gets into the bunker. Foley trying to hang on to the position. Out front, it's Cam Grady. The Wolves are starting to howl, and they're trying to chase down the meat. Grady in the 27 shows the way. The 10 of McGrail runs in a second spot. Here comes the 34 of Foley. Around McGrail on the outside. 25 laps showing on the scoreboard. 4 laps remain. Can Grady hang on? They're still wheel to wheel for that second spot. The 10 of McGrail. The 34 of Foley has the second position. Grady in the 27 leads by 2. Foley chasing him down. What was 2 is now 1 into turns 3 and 4. Cam Grady in the 27 looking for his first career victory tonight. 1 car length is the lead. 27 laps up on the scoreboard. Foley, half a car length behind. Gets a good run off 2. Dives down to the inside. Here comes George Foley for the lead. Foley to the inside. Takes the lead away. Grady coming back down to the inside. George Foley's pulling away. Foley leads by 2 car lengths. Popsicle sticks on the field. Foley's checking out. Grady fading back with a 27. Here comes McGrail through on the inside. They got to work around the slower car of Salisbury. Here comes Foley. Popsicle, a white flag this time for George Foley in the 34. George Foley, car 34, pulling away from Pat McGrail. Foley's going to win it. Win number 1 of 2011 for Saranac Lakes, George Foley. Finishing in the second spot, it's Pat McGrail. 3rd to Patrick Dupree. 4th to Cam Grady. 5th to Dan Brown. 6th, Christopher Arnold. 7th to Andy Haywood. 8th goes to Craig Riel. 9th to Martin Anoa. 10th to Don Scarborough. The Brandon Bandit finishes in the 10th spot with his number 11. George Foley gets his first win of 2011.
All right, he's climbing out of his car now. Give him a nice round of applause, everybody. Saranac Lakes, George Foley. All right, George. Congratulations. First win of the year. And I tell you, you could see that you were charging through the field. The car was working for you. But I think that yellow flag is what really brought you into the ball game. Cam Grady and the 27 just started to fade a little bit down the stretch.
Yeah, we normally are good on longer runs. We got a lot of tire left. We got good stuff. Ford spec motor in this car. Ford's first race here with a spec motor. Apparently it is doable. I don't know very often, but it's doable.
Well, George, tell us about you working your way through the field. The car was fast 2 weeks ago as well. You had the different power plant in, as you just mentioned, this week. And then on the restart, what were your thoughts on the restart? And then tell us about the eventual pass of Cam to get the win.
I actually picked up a push before the caution, so I was a little bit nervous to go outside, but eventually you have to, so just go and hope for the best, you know.
Well, great job. A lot of times there's been bugaboos with this car, but not tonight. And hopefully those are behind you now, and you've got things really rolling for you. Great job tonight.
Thank you. It's been a long time since we got to first up here. I want to thank all my sponsors, Pulsifers, the Shamrock, Laidman Lawn Care, Egglefield Ford, of course, Ford Racing for that engine, Lorman's, Casella. It's been a while. I haven't had to do this. So thank you, and thanks everybody for coming. It's just a cool time.
All right, that's George Foley, everybody. He gets the...
Starting on the pole, he drives car number 47. It is Eric Sales. Outside the 41 is Tim LaFountain. 2 rows back in car number 69, it is John Bradley. On the outside, it's the 23 of Larry Archer. Row 3 on the inside, Malcolm Woodward in the 43. The 07 is Jimmy Varno. Row 4, it's Josh LaVarnway in the 13 and Jamie LaFountain in car number 20. 5 rows back, the 77 of Chris Clark and the 7 of Josh LeClaire. 6 rows back, it is Josh Laporte in the 45 and Scott Richner in the 21. Row 7, the 03 of Speedy Brissett and the 4 of Chris LeVere. LeVere trying to make it 3 in a row. Rico Hernandez in the 3, the 08 for Rick Laporte. Levi Bombard in the 61, the 22 of Chad Collins. Mike Whalen in the 11, the 02, Eric Riel. 33 car is Billy Jenkins. The 86 is Dave Demore. The 65 is Dan Benjamin. That's your field. Keysville Napa Mini Modifieds are underway. Up the back stretch the first time, Eric Sales is your leader. 3 and 4 wide action as the Mini Modifieds complete lap number 1 4 wide coming off turn 4. Sales leads lap 1. LaFountain is second. Jamie LaFountain has moved up quickly in that number 20 car. He's right on the back of Tim LaFountain in the 41, and he'll now look to the outside. The 13 of Josh Lavarnway right there, as is the 23 of Larry Archer. Throw a blanket on those 4 cars battling for the number 2 spot. Now Lavarnway looks to the inside of the 41, and Josh Lavarnway will go to second, dropping Tim LaFountain back to third. On the outside, here comes Jamie LaFountain in the 20. He looks to take that 3rd spot away, and here comes LeVere on the bottom of the racetrack. 3 wide once again coming off turn 4. Look at the move LeVere makes on the inside. He went from 5th, 4th, 3rd as he takes the 3rd spot away from the 41 of Tim LaFountain. Meanwhile, they've got some running to do to try and run down Eric Sales in the 47. That's the car that was the track championship winner 1 year ago, the former 95 of Rick Donor. The 47 is back out in front. Lavarnway second, LeVere third, trying to close in on the 13 car. Josh Laporte has moved the 45 car into the number 4 spot, with the 77 of Chris Clark now up to 5th. The Grape Ape sideways and doing a fantastic job of hanging on to it. Left, right, 3 different times as he got tapped coming off the 4th turn, and a great save by Richner, which could have been a big, costly mess for a lot of guys had he not held on to it. Back up front, Chris LeVere has run down the 13 of Jamie LaFountain. LeVere bobbled a bit coming off turn number 2, and he's now fallen 5 or 6 car lengths back. He was right on the back bumper looking to make a move to take that 2nd spot away. Mini Modifieds running 20 laps this evening. Their normal distance is 15. Eric Sales started on the pole and has been sailing home up front. He's maintained that big lead over the 13 of Josh Lavarnway, and the 4 of Chris LeVere has closed in once again on the 13 car. Josh Laporte's 45 is 4th, and the 77 of Chris Clark runs 5th. Again, LeVere looks to make a move to the inside of the 13 Lavarnway as they head into turn 3. Lavarnway maintains his advantage. LeVere trying to come back. It's still LeVere on the inside and Lavarnway on the outside. Those 2 cars ran side by side for much of the race opening night, a night where Lavarnway ended up cutting a tire and LeVere went on to victory. They continue their battle this evening here in week 3 with LeVere trying to go 3 for 3. But he's still got some running to do to run down Eric Sales. Halfway, 10 down, 10 to go, and Eric Sales with still a 3/4 length advantage of the backstretch. Sales will start working his way through lap traffic. First car to go a lap down will be the 3 of Rico Hernandez. Jamie LaFountain brings the 20 car back to the garage area. It's been a tough start to the 2011 season for the youngster from Keysville. Chris LeVere has taken that 2nd spot away from Josh Lavarnway. LeVere now 2nd, Lavarnway back to 3rd. Laporte and Clark maintain their 4th and 5th place positions. Now we'll see, once LeVere gets around the lap car of Hernandez, if he can try and run down the 47 of Eric Sales. They'll complete lap 13 this time by. There'll be 7 to go for Eric Sales. Bradley in the 69, a little bit squirrely in front of the leader. That slowed the 47 car up just a bit and allowed Chris LeVere to cut that advantage slightly. Bradley drifts high in the 69 as the 47 of Sales goes by on the inside, as does the 4 of LeVere. Tim LaFountain goes a lap down in the 41 car. And look at this advantage now as they head up the backstretch. It's down to about 5 car lengths. LeVere looks to the inside of the fountain, and he's cut it down to 3 car lengths as they head into turn 3. 5 laps to go. This time by, can Chris LeVere make it 3 in a row? Sales works to the bottom of the Malcolm Woodward 43 and the 22 of Chad Collins. Those will be the next 2 cars to go a lap down. It's down to 3 car lengths. Now 2 as they head into turn 4. As both LeVere and the 4 and the 47 of Sales get by the 2 lap cars. Next to go a lap down will be the Benjamin 65, the driver from Montreal, making his first appearance here at the Airborne Speedway. Will go a lap down, 16 laps into the event. 3 to go for Eric Sales. His lead is 2 car lengths over Chris LeVere. There's a good gap back to the 3rd place car of Josh Lavarnway. And the 45 of Josh Laporte and the 77 of Chris Clark in a battle with the 03 of Speedy Brissett for that number 5 spot. 2 to go for Eric Sales. Can he hold on, or will Chris LeVere run him down in the final stages? The closest LeVere has gotten has been a couple of car lengths. Now it's 3, almost 4, as they head into turn 3. But when they come into turn 4, LeVere closes ground, and he's cut it back to 2. White flag is out. Up the backstretch, the final time, it's still a 2 car length advantage for Eric Sales. Sales as LeVere making a charge, looking to the bottom of the racetrack. It's down to 1 car length. Here they come off turn 4. Eric Sales in the 47 is your winner. Chris LeVere second. 3rd spot will go to the 13 of Josh Lavarnway. 4th, the 45 of Josh Laporte. And rounding out the top 5 will be the 03 of Speedy Brissett.
That was a very, very great race, gentlemen.
So Eric Sales has returned the 47 to victory lane. Let's go down trackside where Rob Knowles is standing by to talk with our winner.
All right, Eric Sales gets the win, his first in the Keysville Napa Auto Parts Mini Modifieds. Holding off the car that has really been taking it to everybody else in the division. Chris LeVere finishing in the 2nd spot. Josh Lavarnway with another good race to 3rd. Eric's climbing out. Give him a nice round of applause as he gets the victory. He's able to hold off Chris LeVere, which is certainly a good accomplishment. The way Chris has been running with that number 4 car. Gets a lot of congratulations. I think we got to tell Eric he's got to come around to do the interview now. All right, Eric. I'm not going to give you a hug, Eric. Sorry, you're already run out of hugs. Congratulations, you get the victory and you held off a hard-charging Chris LeVere.
Yes, it was a good race. Starting on the pole helps too.
Well, certainly does, but you got to have a fast car nonetheless. And with Chris coming, I'm sure you had a pretty good idea that the 4 was just a couple of car lengths back. You couldn't make a mistake and almost got a piece of the wall on the last lap.
I was looking in the mirror instead of watching where I was going, but I was watching him come up through on the scoreboard. I knew he'd be there.
Well, congratulations, you get the victory. You're first in the Mini Modified division. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Eric Sales who gets the win.
Joe Warren and Don Franklin starting to heat up the battle for that 2nd spot as Joe Warren is looking to the inside as Don Franklin works on the top of the racetrack trying to hang on to the 2nd position. Rob Favreau goes around the 36, putting Dragoon down a lap. Big Daddy Don Franklin in the 69 trying to hang on to 2nd, but Joe Warren is closed in and he's breathing down his neck. Josh Terry is running in 4th. 5th right now is Kevin Booten in car number 25. Curtis Seymour is 6th. 7th is the 11 of Lance Rabtoy. 8th is Rick Donor. 9th is the H2O. And 10th is McClatchy in car 70. Rob Favreau with a very comfortable lead out front. A double-digit car length advantage for car number 22. as we approach the halfway point of this one with 11 laps showing on the scoreboard. Halfway this time by for Rob Favreau with car 22. Don Franklin in the 69 running into that second spot. He's pulled away a little bit from Joe Warren in the 13. It's now 2 car lengths. And a good gap back to Josh Terry, who's holding off Kevin Boutin. Boutin with a peek down to the inside. Trying to find running room to get underneath Josh Terry's car and to get himself into the 4th spot. The 22 of Rob Favreau, the lead half the backstretch. Joe Warren back to within a car length of the 69 of Franklin for the 2nd spot. Kevin Boutin is underneath car 43 of Josh Terry. And Boutin at the stripe has 4th. Terry back to position number 5. Metal Man off the pace with car number 2. Moving down to the inside with the leaders working past. He's down a lap. Andrew Bordeaux has gone down a lap to the 22. Now Don Franklin works past as he is increasing the advantage on Joe Warren to about 4 car lengths. The distance between 2nd and 3rd. And it's a good gap back to Kevin Boutin in car number 25. Boutin is trying to close in on the 13. Well, Rob Favreau's on his way perhaps to his first career victory in the Renegades. The only thing that would make him sweat a little bit, at least at this point, is a yellow flag. And even then, with as strong as he's been running, you gotta like his chances. Point leader Robert Gordon in the H2O. He's racing with Rick Donor in the 86, Jason McClatchy right on his back bumper. Those cars are just inside the top 10, so it's been a slow night progress-wise for car H2O. 2 for 2 in the win column, and he's not going to go 3 for 3, as he's been mired in traffic for much of the night. There you see the H2O of Gordon. Favreau with the 22, still a comfortable lead out front than the 69 of Franklin. The 13 is close to a half car length off of his back bumper. Kevin Boutin has really pulled up to the back bumper of the 13 of Warren in that 4th spot. And I think Boutin might be about the only car on the racetrack right now that could give the 22 a run for his money, but he's dealing with a half-track disadvantage, and he's still got 2 cars that he's got to work past. Josh Terry with a good run. He's sitting in the 5th spot as other cars go a lap down. Brusso's 00. Dragoon's 36 has gone down a 2nd lap. Dan Dubuque is the next car in line that would go down a lap to the leader in the number 22. Now Rob Favreau closing in on his first career Renegade victory. Kevin Boutin right on the back bumper now, the 13. He's going to look to the top of the racetrack as he tries to get into the 3rd position. Boutin goes to the top of the track. Joe Warren down on the inside. Kevin Boutin is going to get 3rd out of this. He's on the top of the track, and he is to 3rd. So the 25 is on the move. And if there were yellow at this point, I think he'd certainly be a player for the win. But with the field pretty well strung out, these guys are looking at a green to checkers run. Rob Favreau working through the middle of turn number 4. 2 laps to go for car 22. Kevin Boutin looks to the inside of car number 69 and Don Franklin. Slower cars in front of the Favreau 22. Let's see how he handles them with the 25 charging quickly. White flag is out. Favreau moves to the inside of Allen's number 10. Good run off of 2 for Favreau. That should propel him home to the victory with Boutin closing quickly, but he's going to run out of time. Here comes your winner off of turn number 4. First career victory for Rob Favreau. Kevin Boutin is 2nd. Don Franklin 3rd. Joe Warren 4th. 5th to Josh Terry. 6th Lance Raptoy. 7th to Robert Gordon. 8th goes to Curtis Seymour. 9th will go to the 70 of Jason McClatchy. And a top 10 finish for Rick Donor in car number 86.
All right, Rob has made his way to trackside. He didn't run anybody over after he heard the score. That's good news. And he's awaiting Robbie Favreau to hop out of the 22.
All right, Rick. Rob Favreau's unbuckling. It's his first career victory in the Renegade division. Was a rookie in the division last year. Sophomore season. 3 races in, he gets his first career victory. Climbing out now. Give him a nice round of applause, everybody. Rob Favreau wins. All right, Rob. Well, you could tell in the qualifier that your car was going to be very fast. It was fast in the qualifier. And then the feature, you started right up front, and it was fast the entire 25 laps.
Yeah, I just been working on this thing for 2.5 years now, and just nitpicking, getting it to hook up, and finally I got a good start, and usually that's a good thing, and I'm in victory lane.
Kevin Boutin was coming after you in the 25. I don't know if I would talk to drivers sometimes. They'll say you can see on the scoreboard as the drivers work their way up. Did you check it all and know that he was coming pretty fast?
Didn't care. I just focus in front of me and just drive my race and ride my line and get here.
Well, congratulations. I know you've been working at this, and there have been some wrecks in between and bumps in the road, but to get to here, I'm sure you'll think about it, and it's gonna feel really good. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank my sponsors, E&E Sheds, Leon Blair's General Contract and Excavating, Shumway Insurance, my mother, my daughter, my brother for helping me out, being here on the weekend. It's working hard every week from Sunday to Saturday afternoon at the track and getting to here.
Well, congratulations again on your win.
Thank you.
Okay, Rob Favreau with the win tonight. A long night of racing action, a lot of good racing action tonight. Wraps up a little after 11 o'clock. Back to you.